Okay, so welcome back to Kill Team and to the Pariah Nexus. So literally just got this yesterday, which is why most of the terrain is still grey plastic. I'll get that painted up soon. We're going to be playing the Storm the Redoubt matchup, which is, it's got deployments in all four corners, but you have the long edge of the board to yourself. 3 objectives along the centre path. And there's a couple of new things that Pariah Nexus has changed to the actual way that Close Quarter Confines works. Main one, these little firing points here. If you step on that little octagonal slab there, you basically get a +1 to shooting anyone in the arc of that 90-degree thing around the side. Doors are different as well. They don't end your movement. If you open a door, you can just carry straight on through, and you can't prevent them from opening. And once they're open, they're just removed from the board entirely. You can't re-close a door once it's been opened. There's a couple of other funky things as well in there, various tactics. Long range isn't a thing anymore in indoor maps, so you don't get a penalty for shooting at over half your weapon's range. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So let's give a quick rundown of the teams and then move on to the mission brief. Okay, so here we have 125 points of Adeptus Astartes, or 123 exactly. Over in the top, in the magenta, we've got a Infiltrator Sergeant, who is the leader specialist. In the green is a Intercessor Sergeant, armed with an Astartes Chainsword and Hand Flamer. He's going to be a combat specialist. In the yellow is an Assault Intercessor Sergeant, again Astartes Chainsword, Hand Flamer, and he's going to be a veteran. In the green Infiltrator, he is going to be a comm specialist with their little communications thing that they get with them. And then we have 3 regular Infiltrators, armed with the frag grenades, Oculus bolt carbines, all that good stuff. And that is 125 points of Adeptus Astartes. And here we have 125 points worth of Necrons. Leading them, we have a Warrior armed with a Gauss Reaper. We have an Immortal who's a comm specialist armed with a Gauss Blaster. 2 flayed ones that are being proxied by the Murder Buckets from Indomitus. We've got a Zealot and a Combat Specialist. And then we have 6 regular Necron Warriors, all armed with Gauss Flares, which is 125 points worth of Necrons. So, as mentioned, we're doing the Storm the Redoubt match play mission for Pariah Nexus. Deployment zone is 1 long edge of the board, and there are 2 corners you can deploy in as part of that long edge. There are 3 objectives in the board. The one in the centre is a command node, which is relevant to some secret objectives you might get. The battle will automatically end at turn 4. Having a team break is not an end condition for this match. There are points awarded for doing various things during it. So you can get a point at the end of each turn by controlling 1 objective marker. You can get an additional by controlling more than your opponent. You can get a 3rd point for killing at least 1 of their models in a turn, for a total of potential 3 each turn, but you can score no more than 9 in the game in that manner. We've also chosen 3 secret objectives, very similar to Arena. That a lot of the objectives are very, very similar to Arena, actually. So we've got 3 hidden objectives that we can potentially score points on, and we don't know what each other's are. So we'll see what they are as the game progresses. So let's dive in with deployment then. So 2d6 for deployment then. Necrons get 5. Marines get 7. Marines to deploy their first model first. Okay then, so at end of deployment, the concentration of forces appears to be on the top end of the board, going after objectives 3 and 1, because we kind of figured that objective 2 is very in the open once you get there, so you're liable to get shot if you're sitting on 2. But other than that, a fairly equal distribution of forces, 1 melee guy on either spawn point, and the rest filled out with the Infiltrators and Warriors. So let's roll 2d6 to see who has initiative then for turn 1. Necrons get 8. Marines get 7. Necrons to go for turn 1. So, summarising Necron movement then. The flayed one moved up and opened that door there. The Immortal stepped over to the side. These 2 Necrons have moved up. This one advanced, so can't shoot because he's only got a Gauss Flare. The leader advanced, he's got a Gauss Reaper, which is an assault weapon, so he can shoot later. These 2 moved normally. This one moved up, opened the door to allow that flayed one to charge through, and this one moved normally to there. So, Necron's moving up the board. Now for Marines. Okay then, Marine movement. This Infiltrator's just moved up and tucked in behind that wall there to get a firing line onto these Necrons. The Assault Intercessor has actually readied up with his Hand Flamer, and that lead Necron is in range of it. The blue Infiltrator has gone for a sprint and managed to move 10 inches down to the side. He's not quite in range of objective 1 yet though. This infiltrator moved up to take a firing point overlooking the leader. The red intercessor advanced after the purple leader had opened the door, and the assault intercessor attempted to make a charge into the flayed one, but was just an inch short. So, going into shooting then of turn 1, and no readied models on the Necron side, so just the assault intercessor. So he's firing his hand flamer, one target in range there. So because this is ultra close confines, you roll 2d6 instead of 1 and pick the highest, and that's how many hits you get. So 5 hits. Strength 3 versus toughness 4, wounding on 5s. 1, roll that 2 again, that's cocked. Yep, just the 1. Okay, so 1 wound on the Necron warrior. His armor save value is 4 up. Nope, fails. He is in the open. Do I want to re-roll that now? Yes, let's spend a command point to attempt to re-roll that armor save, needing a 4 up. Nope, did not work. Okay, so in the open to the hand flamer, would kill on a 4, 5 or 6. Well, not a 6 actually. Nope, that is a flesh wound. So yeah, it wouldn't have killed on a 6, because that's reanimate for the Necrons, which removes all flesh wounds. Okay, so just a flesh wound for the lead Necron. So, Necron shooting then, because we're moving into unreadied. That guy advanced, and the leader advanced but can still shoot. Let's fire off the leader first into that infiltrator. Okay, so assault 2 into that infiltrator over there. He did advance, so instead of hitting on 3s, he's hitting on 4s. No such thing as long range in close quarters with his Gauss Reaper. So 2 shots hitting on 4s. 1 hit. Strength 5 versus toughness 4, wounds on a 3. Does AP minus 2. So his 3 up armor save is now 5 up. Nope, fails, but he is 2 wounds. So he just gets 1 wound remaining. So, Yellow Infiltrator shooting into the injured Necron warrior. He is within half range, so he gets 2 shots with his bolt carbine. So 2 shots hitting on 3s because I'm in the open. If they hit on a 6, they automatically wound. Just 1 hit. Strength 4 versus toughness 4, wounds on a 4. Does not. Okay then, so we're going to get the Comm Specialist Immortal with his Gauss Blaster to shoot into this Assault Intercessor back there. So no such thing as long range in this one. So still in half range, so he gets his second shot with his Gauss Blaster, hitting on 4s because the Intercessor is in cover. 1 hit. Strength 5, toughness 4, wounds on a 3. Wounds for an AP minus 2 onto that Assault Intercessor. 5 up armor save. Fails it. He also goes down to 1 wound. Okay, so not too happy about his wound. The Intercessor is shooting back into the Necron leader. So 2 shots hitting on 4s because the Necron leader is in cover. 6 auto wound. 1 hit, wounds on a 4 up. Does 4 up armor save for the Necron leader. Fails, and I've already re-rolled this phase, so I can't re-roll that. He is next to cover though, so a 5 will kill him, a 6 is reanimate, so you don't want the 6. That kills him! Oh boy, so early kill on the Necron leader. So the Marines, one of their secret objectives was cut off the head when the enemy leader is taken out of action. Score victory points equal to 5 minus the number of the turn. You can't score more than 3 on each secret objective card, so unfortunately it's not as great as it sounds, but that is still, however, a full 3 points on one of the hidden objective cards for the Marines, giving them an excellent lead on turn 1. Okay, so we'll fire this Necron warrior here into that infiltrator down there, so he gets 2 shots, but he is obscured by the flayed one. So he would, instead of 3s, be hitting on 4s with 2 shots. Both hit. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounds on 4s. Single for a -1 for the armour, so 4 up armour save for that Marine, please. 1. Just the 1, 4 up armour save. Passes, he's fine. Yep, so purple infiltrator leader is firing into the flayed one. He is obscured by his own assault intercessor and the wall. So 2 shots hitting on 4s. 6 is auto wound. Both miss. So this warrior at the back can draw a line of sight to that red infiltrator, but his friend's in the way. So he gets 2 shots, hitting on 4s. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. Does not. Yeah. So we'll get this regular Necron warrior to shoot into that infiltrator there, and we'll get the cons to buff him up by 1. So his mate's in the way though, so he would normally be hitting on 4s for obscuration, but he's now hitting on 3s with 2 shots. Both hit, wounding on 4s. Both of them. 2 AP -1 hits onto that infiltrator, please. 4-ups. Fails 1, passes 1. So this infiltrator is also down to 1 wound. Okay, so end of the shooting phase then. First off, the Assault Intercessor hand-flamed the lead Necron warrior and caused a flesh wound onto him, but received some retaliatory fire from the Immortal. The infiltrator next to him also took a blast from the Gauss flare of one of the warriors. Way down here, however, the Necron leader shot and injured the infiltrator, but was immediately returned fire on and killed for a full 3 points to the Marines. And some fire traded up at the top, but no lasting damage then. So, shooting phase is done. Wood going to fight phase. There is nobody in melee range, however. So, moving into morale. 1 flesh wound. Necrons are leadership 10. He is not failing a test any which way. So, straight into turn 2 then. Okay, so going over points for turn 1 then. So, the Necrons lost their leader to one of the infiltrators' fire, which meant that the Marines got a full 3 points on cut off the head. They've also scored a point for domination because one of their models is within 3 inches of the centre objective. As for rest of objectives, because how you capture an objective has changed now, it's based on wounds, not models. The Marines actually hold objective 3 because that infiltrator is 2 wounds and the flayed one is 1. So the Marines then get a point for holding an objective, an additional for holding more than the enemy, and an extra on top of that for killing one of the enemy. So the Marines now are sitting and pretty on a total of 7 on turn 1 to the Necrons 0. So going into turn 2 then. Okay, so going into turn 2, 2d6 for initiative. 5 for the Necrons, 7 for the Marines. Marines to move. Okay, so summarising Marine movement. These two have both elected to ready up. This infiltrator has moved forward a little bit, opened a door and moved back, because remembering that doors don't stop your movement now when you open them. This Marine's moved around to take cover from these barrels from those Necrons over there. Around here, the Assault Intercessor has charged the flayed one, whereas the other two have just stepped around and the red infiltrator has readied up. So, going into Necron movement then. So, start of Necron movement then. This injured warrior moved up and opened that door there. So, it's got a contesting on objective 1, since this warrior advanced to get in and this warrior advanced down the corridor. The Immortal has walked around and opened the door, allowing the flayed one to advance up to there, so they're both sitting on objective 2. And over here, these warriors have decided that that objective isn't happening, and so have advanced around to here, except for this one who walked, so these two can't shoot. And the flayed one had obviously been met with the charge there and is locked in place. So, going into shooting then with Marines initiative. So, no Necron ready models either, so Marines to shoot with their ready models. So, Infiltrator is firing into the Immortal, so it gets 2 shots, usually hitting on 5s, but the Immortal's behind cover, hitting 4s. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. Does 3 up armor save for the Immortal. Ooh, fails. Let's spend a CP to reroll that. 3 up armor. Ugh, again. Okay, so 5 up to kill the Immortal. On a 6 it reanimates. No! Come on! The Immortal's dead. Oh boy, this is not going my way at all, is it?
He's
okay.
After all.
No, he wasn't very immortal, was he? Oh boy. Okay, and still you've got another readied model. Where's he shooting? Okay, so find the hand flamer from the Assault Intercessor into the wounded Necron warrior. Roll 2d6, pick the highest. 6 hits. Strength 3, toughness 4, wounding on 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're all regular armor saves for that Necron warrior. So 4 up armor. 2 go through, but it's 1 damage, so we only do 1 damage roll for it. He is obscured and flesh wounded, so a 4 or 5 will kill him, a 6 is a reanimate on 1 dice. Nope, that is another flesh wound. So he is now twice flesh wounded. So this one shooting into him?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so is obscured from around the corner, so 2 shots hitting on 4s. 6 is auto wound. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. Does not. This warrior here to shoot into that infiltrator who is unobscured from that angle to him. So 2 shots hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. Does not. Your next shot. So infiltrator is firing into this Necron warrior. 2 shots, is obscured, hits on 4s. 6 is auto wound, 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Both. 2 4 armor saves for the Necron warrior. Fails. It's 1 damage though, so 1 injury roll. He is obscured, so 5 will kill, 6 is reanimate. That's a flesh wound. Flesh wound for that warrior. The injured warrior will fire into that guy in front of him. So is obscured, hits on a 4, twice flesh wounded, hits on a 6, but is stood on a firing point, and he is in the arc of fire for that firing point. So add 1 to the hit, he's instead hitting on 5s. 2 shots on 5s. Neither. Advanced, advanced, shot, advanced, advanced. And I believe that's shooting done. So, some of the shooting phase then. The Immortal wasn't, and has been taken out. And a bit of fire traded around. This Necron warrior suffered another flesh wound, as has this one over here, but no damage done to the Marines this turn. But we do actually have a combat up here as we go into the fight phase. So the Assault Intercessor Sergeant has 5 attacks with his combat specialism and chainsword, all hitting on 3s. 5 attacks. 2 hits. Strength 4 versus Toughness 4, wounding on 4s. 1. AP -1 on the chainsword. So 5 up armor for the flayed one. New. It's a new phase. Let's re-roll that. So I'd really quite like to keep him alive for once. 5 up. Still no. So, injury roll. Now, another thing that's been added in Pariah, because you can draw a line from the Assault Intercessor through the flayed one to a wall, he's essentially pinning him up against the wall as he strikes, which adds 1 to the wound, to the injury roll. So it would normally kill on a 4 or 5. Because of that, it's killing on a 3, 4 or 5. 6 is reanimate. So single dice, 3, 4, 5. That's a 3. That flayed one is dead. So a very nasty turn all around for the Necrons. They've lost an additional 2 units as we go into the morale phase. So with 3 dead and a couple flesh wounded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dead or injured. So they don't have to take a break test just yet. So even with 3 dead guys, a leadership of 10 means that these 2 flesh-wounded Necrons do not need to take individual nerve tests. Okay, so summing up points scored for turn 2. Necrons hold objective 2, Marines hold objective 3. Objective 1 is contested because it's 2 wounds versus 2 wounds, so nobody has objective 1, he is just out of range. So they score a point each for that. Marines also scored a point for the kill. So that brings the Marine grand total up to 9 points at the end of turn 2, and the Necrons up to 2. Going into turn 3 then, 2d6 for initiative. Necrons get 11, Marines get 3. Necrons to go first in turn 3. Okay, so end of Necron movement. The flayed one has charged this intercessor here, whilst the twice flesh-wounded warrior has stepped back to take objective 2 and hold that little space there. Since this is a pitfall, you can't move through that green rectangle, so it's effectively blocking the bridge. This warrior readied up, whilst these walked normally into here. These 2 have both walked normally down to there as well. So, giving up entirely on objective 3, going after 1 and 2, that's Necron movement. So, going into the Marines moves. Okay then, so end of Marine phase. This Assault Intercessor made a determined leap with a command point across that chasm. So got the 2 up on his d6 in order to do so, and so has landed and is now basically controlling objective 2 because he has more wounds than the injured Necron warrior. This infiltrator has decided to ready up, whereas these have all moved around with just the leader sitting on objective 3, the rest are repositioning. So, going into shooting then, Necron initiative, so first readied shot for the Necrons. One and only ready Necron model will fire into that Marine there. So the Necron is stood on a firing point and the Marine is in line of sight for that. So instead of hitting on 3s, he is hitting on 2s. 2 shots, 2 up. Yep, hits both. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounds on 4s. Ooh, both at AP -1. So 2 4-palm saves for that infiltrator, please. Saves 1, 1 goes through. Borrow one of these. So that infiltrator is on 1 wound remaining. Okay, so infiltrator is shooting into that warrior. 2 shots, hitting on 3s. 6 is auto wound. That's a 6, it automatically hits and wounds. So a 4 armor save for that Necron warrior. Yeah, he's fine. Yep, so going into unreadied shooting then. So this warrior will fire back into him. He is also stood on a firing point and the Marine is in line of sight of that. So instead of hitting on 3s, he's hitting on 2s. Ooh, nice. Wounding on 4s. Nice as well. 2 AP -1s for that infiltrator, please. 1 goes through. So that does put him onto flesh wounds. So, injury roll then. He is in the open from that Necron warrior. 4, 5, 6 will kill. That's a 5. That would kill him. Now, you have plenty of CP to burn, and death denied costs 2 CP. And instead of killing him, that would give him a flesh wound. You want to do that? Yep. So, burning 2 command points. The Marines, instead of letting that Marine die, death denied, he instead gets a flesh wound. Okay, so red infiltrator is shooting at this Necron warrior. So is obscured, so 2 shots hitting on 4s. 1 hit, wounds on 4. Does not. Next Necron shooting then. This warrior is going to shoot at him in the open to that warrior there, so 2 shots hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. Does. 4 armor save for that infiltrator, please. Fine. Yep, so hand flamer from the assault intercessor sergeant into that warrior. 2d6 auto hits, pick the highest. 5 hits. Strength 3, toughness 4, wounds on 5s. None. Next Necron shot. This warrior to that infiltrator. His buddy's in the way though, so he is hitting on 4s. 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Ooh, that is 1 wound. 4 armor save for that infiltrator. Yes, you do have a reroll that you've not used this phase.
Yeah, I'm going to reroll.
Spending a CP for a reroll. 4 up. Nope, fails. Once flesh wounded in the open. So kills on 3, 4, 5, 6. Dead, yes. He denied death once, but not the second time. That infiltrator has copped it. He's gone. Assault Intercessor Sergeant is firing his hand flamer into that Necron warrior. 2d6 auto hits, pick the highest. 6 hits, wounding on 5s. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 wins. 3 4 palm saves for the Necron warrior. That was part of it. 1 fail. So in the open, twice flesh wounded. So 2 to 5 will kill that warrior. 1 is another flesh wound. 6 is reanimate. 1 dice. Oh! Oh, you've already rerolled. 3 flesh wounds on that warrior. His old achy, rattly bones are barely clinging on. Okay. Any more shots for me? Just that injured guy, I think. Flesh wounded Necron warrior will fire into that once wounded infiltrator. He is behind cover, so 2 shots hitting 4s. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. No. Yep, so fine back infiltrator to the wounded Necron warrior. 2 shots hitting on 4s. 6 is also a wound. 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Nope. End of shooting phase then. 1 casualty for the Marines. He denied death once, not the second time. Just a raw mass of Gauss flare fire finally took him down. But not much else besides, apart from this warrior here barely clinging on to life with 3 flesh wounds. Even if he gets another flesh wound, he's dead anyway. So he is barely holding together as we go into the fight phase, where this flayed one charged that Infiltrator. So that flayed one is a zealot, so he gets +1 strength and attack on the charge. So he is now getting 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 5. Hitting 3s. 1, 2, 3. Strength 5 versus toughness 4. Wounds on 3s. 1, 2, 3. AP -1. So 3 4 palmer saves for that infiltrator, please.
3.
Yep. 2 fail, so that is enough to put him onto an injury roll. Injury roll for that Marine. So he's in the open and can draw a line of sight from through him to that wall, so he is pinned against it, so +1 to the injury roll. 3, 4, 5, 6, that Marine dies. That's a 6, he's dead. Do you want to death deny? It's another phase. Yep. So burning the last of the Marine CP for death denied. This Marine is instead flesh wounded. So 2 attacks back from the infiltrator, hitting on 3s. Nothing. Okay, so going to morale phase then. So no real change for the Necrons. No break test or nerves required. Yep, so with just 1 loss, even though this Marine is flesh wounded, he can't fail his individual nerve test and there's not enough for a break. So tally up score for turn 3 then. So summing up then, Marines get 2 points off the base objective for holding 1 objective and holding more but not killing. Necrons get 2 points for holding 1 and killing a Marine. Also, they get another point for domination and 1 point for command and control. So that brings the Necron total up to 6 and the Marine total is 11 as we go into turn 4, the final turn. Roll 2d6 for initiative. Necrons get 7, Marines get 11. Marines have initiative going into turn 4, final turn. Okay, so summing up Marines movement then. The wounded infiltrator is electing to stay in combat. This one has moved around to here, as has the assault intercessor with the hand flamer. This one has charged right into the middle with these 2 warriors and is now sitting pretty on objective 1, whereas these 2 have readied up. So, Necron movement then. Okay then, so Necron movement. Obviously the flayed one has stayed in combat. This one has just shimmied over to the side because there was a flamer looking at him all funny-like. So he likes staying alive. 2 warriors have charged into the assault intercessor as well, so he's now surrounded by 4 Necrons all in a big scrap. There was a bounty hunter's token there as well from when we killed the blue infiltrator, which this guy has picked up. That scores a point for bounty hunters. This one has shimmied around to the side as well because there are a lot of people giving him dodgy looks as well. So it is all coming to a dog pile in the middle mostly. But first we do have some shooting as we go into the shooting phase, and it is the Marines' initiative. Infiltrator is firing into that Necron warrior there, so is in the open to him because he's hiding behind that wall. So 2 shots hitting on 3s, 6 is auto wound. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. Yep, wounds. 4 palm save for that Necron warrior. Flubs it. Okay, in the open, 3 fleshed wounds. Anything but a 6 will kill him, basically. So come on, 1d6 it.
It's going to be a 6, isn't it?
It's not a 6, he's dead. He croaks. Finally, too much damage for that poor guy. Wounded guy will fire to him. So he's flesh wounded and you're in cover. 2 shots hitting on 5s. Ooh, both. Wounding on 4s. 1. AP -1, so 4 palm save for that guy. He makes it. So, oh no, not end of shooting. They stayed in combat and he has a bolt pistol, which he can fire into combat. So, single shot, hits on a 3-up. Misses. Didn't matter. So, going into fight phase then. And it's Marines initiative and your guy charged, so he gets to strike first. Now, he's the veteran, not the combat specialist, so he gets 4 attacks. Where do you want to place them? So he's got 4 attacks and he's placing 1 on each model. So who do you want to start with? Okay, so first attack going into that warrior then. Hits on a 3-up. Hits, wounds on a 4. Does not. Yep, so re-rolling the hit for the wound for that guy, 4-up. Yep, wounds. So 4 palm save for this warrior here. He is fine. Next guy. Next attack going into that guy. 3-up. Hits. Wounds on a 4. Does. 4 palm save. Fails. Yeah, we'll leave that for now. So, injury roll. 4-5 will kill. Reanimates! He's fine! He doesn't even get a flesh wound. That is the one and only time that's happened in this game, though. Next attack. Which of these two?
This one.
This guy. Hits on a 3-up. Yep, wins on a 4. No. Last guy. Hits on a 3-up. No. Okay, so no damage done to the Necrons then. And we had our own charges, which was this guy and this guy. So he's attacking, going into the Marine. So this warrior charged, so he is now attacking into him with his 1 attack. Hits on a 3-up. Does. Wounds on a 4. Does. 3-up arm save for the intercessor, please. Try again. No. Okay, so onto flesh wounds then. He's in the open, so 4, 5, 6 will kill. That's a 4. He's dead. And you don't have enough CP left for death denied. That guy is gone. Marine is attacking into the flay one. 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounds on a 4. No. He didn't charge this time, so he only gets 3 attacks, strength 4, hitting on 3s. None of them. That's it. So, morale phase then. The Necron that died was already flesh wounded, so it doesn't take us over. We don't need to worry about a break test. 1, 2, 3, 4 against his leadership of 10 is a 6. He still can't fail. Marines can't fail theirs either, so no worries about morale. So, tot up the scores then. So, tot up final scores then. Necrons get 2 points for bounty hunters, 2 for command and control, 3 for domination, and 5 from the just game in general. Marines have 9 from the game in general, 3 for cut off the head, 1 for domination, 1 for area secured. So the final score is 12 points to the Necrons and 15 to the Marines. GG Marines.